Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Teacher Mark. This is English class, and it's May the 29th, and it's Friday. So here we go. Language arts today, we just have to turn in some words that we find based on the reading. So we have a little bit of reading and then a little something to turn in. But the reading today, it's called Weird Kids. Now, when you first read that title, you probably, like me, think about, August, everybody calls him weird and stuff, but you realize that Summer's not talking about August when she's talking about the weird kids. It's kind of interesting, her as a character. We get to see the way she thinks now a little bit more. We've seen before the things she does, but we didn't exactly know why she did them. So now I think we're going to learn a little bit more about her motivations for things. But yeah, even in calling kids weird kids, she's she's talking about other people and how it's strange to her that they would treat others in a strange way, others like Augie. So that's the reading today. It's not very long. It kind of talks about the first day of school when August is sitting at lunch, and if you guys remember, he sits there by himself. Summer just walks on over. I think we even watched a little part of the movie version, and that what I recall of that was actually pretty similar to what the reading describes. The kids have like nicknames for him, and they're all talking about him. Summer today even says that there were a lot of new kids, but August was the only one that everyone was talking about. So what we saw in I think the movie was probably pretty similar to what you'll read today. But that's really it. It's a pretty short bit of reading, but you do get to see like why Summer does some of the things she does. Some of the students ask her good questions, like, did Mr. Tushman tell you to be friends with him? Why do you go sit with him? And we get to see how she feels about all this and what she thinks about other people. That's what the title really means about weird kids. Is she's kind of describing the other students, not August, but the other ones. So we get to kind of see why she feels that way. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really interesting. The very last bit's pretty good. He's just a kid. She says he's the weirdest looking kid she's ever seen, but he's just a kid. And that's the very first thing we read in the story. If you guys remember, the very first thing in part one, August talks about being ordinary. How he does, he has the same hobbies as everyone else. He likes certain movies, he likes certain games, he likes to read comics, all these fun things. So he is just a kid. He just happens to look a little different. And it seems like Summer understands that. And it's interesting, again, I always mention this, but I think it's interesting to read these stories and, you guys live this life. Not so much anymore because we're not in the classroom, but I think you guys would know what it would be like to do what Summer did. Imagine being in the cafeteria and there's one table with one person who's new and doesn't know anyone and looks weird. You get your food, and would you go sit with them? That would be a pretty hard thing to do. So I think it's interesting, again, to sort of think about what would you do if you were some of these characters. What if you saw someone do that just like Summer? We already kind of talked about that a little bit, and a lot of you guys said that you would go sit with August. So I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm really excited for this part of the story. So as far as what we have to turn in, we just have to write down 5 words that we maybe don't know or that are new to us. It might be kind of hard to find 5 words because there's not that many words in here, but there are some good ones in here. Imagine, which isn't like a very new word. I'm sure you guys know what that means, but we don't use certain words like that very often. I ran to the store. Those are pretty common words, but imagine's not the most common. So certain words like that. Phrases. Some of you guys find little phrases as well, which is really, really good because that's part of why I like this story, is because the English in it is good English, but they also use more, not slang, but the English is more of what people sound like when they talk, and part of that includes the phrases that they use. So if you guys find phrases in here and stuff like that, I see one now, it just says brand new. Brand new is a phrase. That's a thing people say. I don't know why they say brand new. You could just say new, but it's a phrase. Those words go together. So if you find things like that, that's fine too. So that's it. All we have to do is find those 5 new words, write down the definition, the part of speech, and use it in a sentence, and then send it to the teacher for 3. And that's it, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you a little bit later. Bye-bye.